Portland Community Justice Partnership is a program that allows people to use restorative justice practices as a way to deal with harm that happened in the community. My name's Teresa Huggins. I'm the program manager for the Portland Community Justice Partnership. We're going to do the demo for the responsible party. In the criminal justice system, you hear offender and the victim all the time. We call them responsible party and the person that was harmed. The reason we do that is so we can address the harm, because that's what restorative practices is about, is being able to address the harm in a way that meets the needs of the people that have been harmed.
For several years, the community has been asking for change in the way police organizations respond to calls within the community in different situations. This was one opportunity for us to answer that call, say we recognize that where it's appropriate, restorative justice has some good benefits.
So I was at Union Bank Tower just doing my rounds there, and while I was writing my report, I kind of looked over, somebody was approaching my vehicle, and they tried to get in my car.
I need you to step away from my car, okay? You've already tried getting in there once, and I don't want you to try again.
I got out and I was speaking with him, and he was kind of giving me his story of what was going on. And he was just saying he was having a really tough time, wanted to call his mom, didn't have a phone. So I called his mom for him and let him leave a message.
I'll come find you if she calls back, or when she calls back, okay?
The security guard from the beginning knew that this person, needed help.
I'm gonna get you help when I can.
What do you mean?
At the very least, I can get you Portland Street response out here.
Can I do that?
Okay, I'm gonna do that right now. You stay at this corner.
So I got on the horn with 911.
851, I'm almost there. The first call was a welfare check.
But please don't.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The next call that we got was that the person who the security guard was asking for a welfare check for had taken the guard's keys.
Well, at this point, he reached for my keys. I didn't see him, or I didn't feel him either. Got the keys.
And took the security guard's car.
I ran around the corner, and there's my car backing up into a fountain and then taking off. And so I just kind of chased it for a few blocks, just out of panic. My parents' death certificates were in the car, a bunch of paperwork trying to sell their house was in the car. That was my big stress.
So at that point, I was kind of stuck in my head. I was going a little crazy. I haven't slept for 6 days. I was withdrawing as well, and I ran back to his car, got into his car, drove off. I parked it in a parking garage after that. I was in a really bad mindset. We ended up going to the emergency room.
They had good contact information for him, which was what I was going to use to issue him a citation, but after looking into it more, I thought there was probably a better way, a better option, just something else that made more sense than having them just go straight to court. He was saying things that indicated that he felt bad for what he did and wanted to apologize to the security guard.
I would love to get to see him again and talk to him and apologize for everything that I've done to him.
And this is Officer Green Mitchell with Portland Police. I started with the victim because at minimum, if the victim's not on board, restorative justice is not an option. I just explained there is this alternative route that we have that is a detour from the criminal justice system that seems like it might be appropriate in this case.
It took a few days. I didn't immediately agree. I slept on it. I asked a lot of people for advice. Most people were like, nah, dude, that guy needs to pay for these consequences. But I've recently lost my parents about a year and a half ago. So I just kind of sat down, reflected on what my mom would do. What would she have me do if I asked her for advice? And she's always big on second chances. So this was his second chance.
The responsible party was immediately so grateful about this opportunity.
This would be the best opportunity for me to really apologize and, not go to jail and really make my life better.
After I made the referral to the restorative justice program, the program handles and manages everything from there.
So the first thing we do is we reach out to both parties and confirm that they want to participate in this program. At any time, a person that was harmed can stop the process and send it back to the Portland Police if they feel that it isn't working for them. In fact, so can the responsible party.
Right.
Part of the uniqueness of it is not just the individuals that harmed or caused harm, but the people that come in and help facilitate it. So having a variety of individuals, people in the community to be able to have a voice while they're going through this process is huge.
My name is Nikki Law, and I am one of the facilitators for this case with Taquan and Tony.
My name is Thomas Dickerson. Everyone calls me Zen.
When I first met them, I was kind of intimidated a little bit. I didn't know what they were going to think about what my situation was.
Taquan, I feel like he was nervous, and I think that he carried a lot of guilt in the very beginning.
I've seen the way a person that caused harm, what they would call the offender, go from the place where they're in like a little bit of shame. They don't want to talk about it.
I just felt like he was going to come there and yell at me. Like he was just going to be mad, he was going to be angry.
He wanted to sit down and meet face to face, so I agreed to that. I'll admit, when I first went in there, heart was pounding a little bit. I was like, I have a lot to say to this guy. But when I walked into the room and looked at him, just a completely different person. Demeanor was different, the way he was dressed was different, the way he was talking, everything was just different. Like he legit got his stuff together. That was just really nice to see, honestly. It was like, okay, well, this might actually work, and I hope it does.
They want to be able to look the person in the eye and hear the change and see their sincerity and their honesty.
This is all about the harmed party, It's all about making sure that the harmed party receives exactly what they feel is necessary for their repair.
He apologized. He explained what he was going through at that time, and I just explained to him, look, man, I understand we're all going through stuff. I can see clearly that you're working on it, and I appreciate that, and that's all I can ask.
He did forgive me, and that made me, and I started crying as soon as he forgave me. And at the end of it, he came up and gave me a hug and told me that he's just really happy that I've just really changed my life around, and that's what he wanted.
And then there comes a point that we work towards negotiating an agreement that is suitable for the person that was harmed.
Here's how you can make it right, which was, the 700 and some community hours. The 700 is going to pay for the out-of-pocket expenses for my car.
It's a process that helps them move in a way towards not becoming a criminal. I know firsthand that many people, they get arrested, thrown in jail, and they're cool. And the worse the crime, the more prestige you have. Well, with restorative justice, you have no prestige. We're making them look at it, that there is harm in what you did.
Typical route, going through the, trial on everything and possibly going to jail. I don't think that would have helped him in this case. I think it would have just crushed his spirit and made it worse.
I'd probably go back on the streets if that's what happened, because I feel like once you get put in jail, you're gonna just go back to doing what you're doing. Like there's not gonna be any help for you. And
We're all human, and we're imperfect, and things happen. And it's nice when we have the option to work it out and to have the resources to solve problems without involving the criminal justice system.
Once somebody goes through the process, they feel they aren't the offender, they aren't this criminal. That's the best, when you see them leaving with that.
This is not right in every case, but when it is right, it's probably better.
Worst case scenario, it doesn't work out and they get thrown back into the system. Best case scenario, they turn their life around.